Hey friends, welcome to my channel. I'm AmandaMuse, and today we're going to be talking about sleepovers. Who knew that this would be such a controversial topic? And I would get so much feedback about this topic on my channel because of one video I made 2 years ago. In April 2018, I made a video titled, "Say No to Sleepovers." Can you imagine making a decision as a parent and having all sorts of feedback? Shocker. Big shocker. What I want to do today is just share with you my stance as of today. 2 years later, has it changed? Do I still say no to sleepovers? What are my thoughts on the topic? Let's jump into it. A few stats on said video. It's called Say No to Sleepovers. What's happening out there? A few stats about the video in question. It was filmed or published on April 9th, 2018. It's about almost 20,000 views and lots of comments, 495 comments on this video. Gotta be honest with you, it's not common practice for me to talk about a video that I've already shared, but I feel like this one gets so many opinions. Oh, I guess I did do a little bit of an updated 2020 opinion on sleepovers. I think it was probably in a vlog, but here, I wanted to share, a little bit more in depth because I think what's happening is somehow that video has been filtered to people who are younger than 18. And so I'm getting a lot of comments and feedback from children. I get it. When I was a kid, I had so many sleepovers. I would have been royally peeved if my mom was saying no to all sorts of sleepovers. However, one must take into consideration that at the time that I made that original video, my eldest child would have been 6 and my son would have been 4. So that's a very different time, right? Kids are little, definitely not sleeping outside of the house. Now, being 6 and 8, have they had a sleepover? The truth is, yes, they have. Well, one of them has. Here's what's changed. So I'd say about a year ago, my daughter came to me asking to have a sleepover. And at first I was like, hard pass, I already made a decision on this. But the little girl that she was asking to stay over was at our home nearly every single day and lived about 6 houses down the street. So we said, sure. I guess now this would have been looking back maybe a year and a half ago. So not long after that original video was made. To be honest, I haven't gone back and watched that original video. Not a big fan watching my own stuff over. So maybe some of this is repetitive, but we're just gonna go with it. So at the time, having a husband who traveled and kids that were young, it just is not something that I would be interested in hosting sleepovers or allowing my children to attend sleepovers. Gotta be honest with you, I also don't have the best sleepers. So it's like, how is a person gonna go to a sleepover if they kind of need some help falling asleep? You know what I mean? Like, that's not really gonna work out. So as I was saying, there was a little bit of a change. There was a friend of my daughter's who was kind of part of the family and was spending so much time with us, and her parents and myself became fairly close, and we decided that sure, a sleepover could happen. We did ultimately plan them when it was just me and the kids in the house. My husband and I are both on the same page. Like, we're not a big fan of the sleepover concept in general, so it didn't happen very often, but I think it was about 3 times. Twice in the old house and 1 time in our current home, and my daughter was over the moon, and they had a great time. And the times that we did have the sleepover, they were hosted, oh, that's my dog if you can hear her. They were hosted at our home because I'm just not comfortable with my kids sleeping at other people's homes. And their parents of the little girl were totally okay with us hosting the sleepover. Also, though, that little girl happens to have cousins that she's very comfortable having sleepovers, and it wasn't completely out of character for her to fall asleep in another house that wasn't her own. So there's all these like comfort things that a person wants to think about when they're considering a sleepover. This dog. So all of that to say, yes, we've hosted a sleepover. And aside from the one friend that we've hosted a sleepover, we've had a sleepover, or maybe 2, with a cousin who's a little bit older than Esme, and it went really well. That, of course, is a little different, I feel, because it's family. And it's one of these things where she really wanted to stay over, we were happy to host, everybody had a great time. So I guess one would ponder the question, has my opinion changed? To be honest, not really. But like anything in parenting, as you go through the different stages of parenting and your child is getting older and they become more responsible in some ways, then yes, a person may have to shift on their opinion or pivot and make adjustments accordingly. So we've allowed that one friend and a cousin, and those reasons being that the one friend was almost like family and the cousin is family, and so we're all on the same page. Is Esme allowed to sleep at other people's houses? No, it just doesn't work for me for all the reasons that I shared in that original video. It would be naive of me to think that I know what goes on in other people's homes when statistics will prove certain things. I'm one of these people that likes to be proactive and avoid risk, unnecessary risk. And as my kids get older and become more responsible and capable of handling different situations, then we'll adjust our decisions at that time. But for the time being, I'm all about that modified sleepover. So you want to have your friends over and you want to watch a movie and everybody's in their jammies, but like at 11 or 10:30, I go drop the kids back home. I'll do that. That works for me. So I'm pretty good with that hybrid sleepover concept. And, when I think back on the memories that I shared at certain sleepovers, some were okay and some were a little stressful because I wasn't very comfortable in the setting, in the home. I didn't know the family very well. So I won't be repeating that. And based on the comments in that last video, I noticed there's a lot of parents who are on the same page. So at the end of the day, we do things that make sense for our family. Does that make me a Karen? Maybe, in the eyes of a couple 13-year-olds that somehow find their way on my channel, and that's okay. I know a lot of Karens and a lot of them are really nice. So there's that. But here's the thing. You're not here to be the most likable person when you're parenting children. You have to make decisions that aren't necessarily the crowd-winning, crowd-pleasing ones. And I'm cool with that. If I can get them to 18 with only a few, bruises and bumps here and there, then I feel pretty good with the job that I've done. And I just think as adults, we have to advocate for children and we have to be the ones who make decisions with them and their best interests at heart and at the top of mind. And so I do all of that. And if you speak to my children, I'm pretty sure that they're living their best lives and they're good. So not too worried about it. And you know what? The reality is 2 years from now, if we were to sit down and have a discussion about my thoughts on sleepovers and if they've changed, maybe they will, but probably not too much. That's just the honest truth. So I'm sorry if you're young and you're watching this video and you're upset. Don't worry about it. I'm not your mom. I'm not making decisions for your family. So all of that to say, I just felt it was one of these videos that I just had to address because I feel like, oh, for the love, I'm getting so many comments on that video. Who knew? The internet is a strange place. So those are my thoughts on sleepovers. I had nice memories as a kid. I also have some not so nice memories, and I think that this is kind of like the parenting gig. We have to consider things and make decisions with the tools and the information that we have right now. And I think that some of the information we have right now is very different than 20 years ago when I was having sleepovers, and more than that, 30 years ago. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have some comments, I'm sure you're going to share them with me. So leave them below. Any engagement is good engagement in my books. So thanks for being here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.